Hey, it's Franco Ucci Thursdays with Franco, where we talk capabilities, projects, and emerging trends. And I've got a couple of special guest panelists who will go. Before we introduce who's talking, I'll actually introduce Dennis Ward, who's on the panel today, and also Alex Day. So, hey, Alex, how are you?
Hey Franco, I'm well, thanks.
And Dennis, you're going to help us on the panel today.
Thanks for the privilege, Franco.
And so, and so Stuart's moved from being on the panel to being our subject matter expert with Keith. So, Keith and Stu, what are you going to show us today?
Yeah, nice and easy. Thanks, Franco. Yeah, we're going to talk to you about one of the OCI services that we're seeing quite a few different use cases where people are unable to do typing or they wish to, and things, but they need to do live transcribe of conversations and capture relevant terms and terminology in an easy to consume fashion and be able to leverage APIs and control and things. So the service that we're talking about is OCI Speech. What I can do briefly is quickly show you if you've got access to the OCI console, let me quickly share the console. So this is the top level page, and everybody can gain access. If you go into analytics and AI, so we go straight into it, and then there's the magic button over here, speech. So that's where the service is located. And then if we come back across onto it, there's a button here, live transcribe. So the live transcribe button allows us to go straight into it. Within that, the interesting thing is over at the side is that there's Oracle or there's Whisper Fine Tune, and there's generic, which is more or less any form of language, or medical. So we can actually click the medical one, which is one of the use cases I've been applying it to, English United States, punctuation, I can set it to automatic, but things. And then at that point, I can hit start session. So I can show this going here, and it's going to start recording the actual conversation. So if people want to talk to me and things,
or not.
Oh no, there we go. There we go.
It's the best demo when it doesn't. It gets there eventually.
Yeah, but the big thing that it's doing buffering, and it's actually pulling the information out. This is just in the console, but the benefit that we've actually got is that there's a full APIs and services that allows you to build applications around this. You can punctuate things, you can capture gaps. So as you can see, it's transcribing even my scrubby language, and all the way through, as it's actually identifying things, it's got a confidence score of how good it is, so that you can actually see how effective the transcribe is. And you can actually then use that information in an application to say, yep, this has been a pretty good conversation. These words we understood, these we didn't. So it gives us a flavor of that. So I'll stop this here, and it'll see it's sort of like that's the end of it. But that's really the crux of it. It's been able to take this and obtain the data, obtain the conversation, and store that. So I'll hand over to yourself, Stu, who's got a way smoother demo and things than this.
Yeah, thank you. It's interesting you called it that's the end of it, because that's kind of the beginning of it. Because the reality is what we've done is we've created a demo that you can do the speech and it records it straight into the database. So I'm using the APIs that what Keith just showed. So what I'll do is before I actually show you the demo, so what I'll do is I'll show you the Python code that connects to the database. So what we do here is we set up a few bits and pieces with some OCI libraries so that you can see, and there you go, Franco, Zoom, just for you. So what we do the connection to the database, and what we do is we open a live stream with WebSockets. And then what happens is in here, and this app was kind of brought from another demo that we have, because you could use this to use Select AI. So you could do natural language with your voice and get some answers. Like if I say, ask DB or hey DB, and it will give me the answers. So well spotted to those that saw that this is actually Paul Parkinson's demo from the hologram. If you remember that, Franco, when we did the hologram, this is how we did the hologram. So it's got what we're doing here is we're waiting for a gap in talking so that we write that to the database in a buffered method that Keith just mentioned. So most of this code is just listening and then writing that data back out to the database. So there's the Python code. Let me show you the demo in action. Okay, let's go. For the past several months, I've been having ongoing stomach issues. I get a lot of bloating, especially after meals, even when I don't eat that much. My stomach feels tight and uncomfortable, and sometimes it's painful, especially in the lower part of my abdomen. The pain usually eases a bit once I go to the bathroom, but my bowel habits are all over the place. Some days I have to rush to the toilet with loose stools, and other days I'm constipated and can go 2 or 3 days without a proper bowel movement. Occasionally I notice a bit of mucus in the stool too. I've tried to keep track of what triggers it, and it seems worse after certain foods like coffee, fried meals, or anything spicy. Stress also seems to make it flare up. When I'm anxious or not sleeping well, my stomach tends to act up more. It's been really frustrating because it's affecting my routine. I often feel tired and bloated, and I have to be careful about when I eat. If I've got other meetings or travel planned, there's no blood or in the stool or anything like that, but the inconsistency and discomfort are wearing me down a bit. I think I should give up coffee, fried meals, and anything spicy. I just made that bit up. So I'll just let it finish. There you go. Such a wonderful subject. Boom. There it is. Thursdays with Franco. There you go.
That's cool.
How good is that?
That's really good. So does it tell you, okay, so the thing you could do now is give this guardrails system prompt to say, can you say, what could this be, et cetera, et cetera. So that's actually quite good.
Yeah. So see what I said here about potentially misheard phrases?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's quite good because it's basically saying they don't impact the overall understanding. But I like the way that it does a data quality check on this.
Yeah.
So, and by the way, don't forget that the LLM behind here is set to pathology reports. That's why it's saying it sounds like an account of symptoms rather than an autopsy.
Yeah.
So that's why it's picked that up as well, which is quite good. So you could definitely categorize these automatically using some of the AI services, whether it's text services or LLM. So that's quite nice. So apart from the subject, that worked quite well.
And that'll be good for guidance to practitioners, because they'll be ultimately the people will consume this information, and the system will just be providing it so that they can make a clinical diagnosis, for example, of Franco, of like, don't eat spicy foods and don't drink coffee. Could be an early indicator of a sort of like a reaction to things.
That's it.
And there's Franco having a coffee.
Okay, Alex, any comments?
Not any comments other than it's really amazing, but I've got loads of questions, if I can ask a few of those. The bit that Keith showed with the transcription, I noticed there was a drop down for the languages. How many languages can we choose from?
No, the medical one was English US, I think. It was only one. But if you go to Whisper or the generic one, there's a heap of languages in there.
Yeah.
Do you want me to share, Keith? I can show that.
Yeah.
So if you go to the live transcribe and you choose just generic model,
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So there's a whole heap of languages here.
Yeah,
Like
right.
a few, right? Some good ones there.
It's excellent.
Not all English. And if you go whisper, then there's a ton of them.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible. And are they providing new languages on a regular cadence, or?
I think they are. The other thing I
Yes.
was talking to somebody about, I don't know whether Luxembourgish is a thing. It's like, it was kind of Luxembourg-y.
Yeah.
But I think they're adding dialects as well, because somebody was talking to me about, I
Well,
think
like
one of the
Scouser
guys
and
from New
Geordie.
Zealand was asking about Geordie. I don't know if it does Julio Giordio, the
No.
Colombian Geordie. But yeah, look, it does have auto detect as well. Whether that
That's
would
amazing.
work for different languages. is
They do
interesting.
have. We do have other services have got regional language detection as well, of
That's
sort of like
incredible.
out of text, so that you can do regional things. And we've, interesting enough, is that we had a French Canadian sat in front of it, and he says, "Okay, do that to translate." It was a translation service, and he was very surprised. He turned around and he says, "Normally these systems can't do that. How do you do this?"
Right. And we've only got one domain. Well, we've got generic domain and then medical. Do we have more coming soon?
I haven't seen any notice on that at the moment. But again, you can create your own, apparently. So you can create your own customization.
All right.
You can create your own language. So the specific terminology. Because one of the other questions that has come up, not in here, but in the other speech services, is that you don't see anything here that determines more than one person. So there's, it's the same thing, transcription jobs. Yeah, you can actually make it determine how many people are in there. So you can give it a so diarization. It works out who else is in if there's more than one person. So this one is when you've got a recording. The live transcription is a slightly different service, but again, you've got this same idea that you can add a file or a storage bucket with. And we'd use this for the speech to text for the help desk transcription. So we use recordings to do this, and it would determine how many people are in the call. So diarization says person one, person two. I think you can choose how many speakers it will pick up. There you go, number of speakers. So that's quite cool.
Incredible.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. But that's only for recordings. It won't do that at the moment on the live transcribe. So courses for courses, right?
Fantastic.
Yeah, it's good. It's a good service. And we've got similar for video now as well, of course. So we might cover video another time, but there's some vision. You can do live vision detection. I'm not sure if we have it in our tenancy, but
yeah, I think it's only in one or two of the regions that.
Yeah. Anyway, so we'll cover that in a different session. But
okay, let's wrap it up there.